To everyone, this time I'm going to bring you a Mega Man X game from the Super Nintendo and the Super Famicom system, but I will use the Japanese version known as Rockman X. I like the Japanese versions because they are more complete, they don't have a stupid sensor, and they are more difficult. I will make a little analysis about the topic, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, let's get started. Very well, we have the Super Nintendo system here, and we have the Super Famicom game cartridge. As we can see, unlike the American cartridge, it's so there are some difference, and it can fit normally on a Super Nintendo system. But if we can deal with some structural issues of the Super Nintendo, we can play it freely because the Super Nintendo and the Super Famicom doesn't have regional block between the American and the Japanese version. So the only problem is the European versions with PIL assignments. So we don't have to worry about this. So let's fit the cartridge here. Now let's start. Now let's get the Super Nintendo on. Shall we? There we have. The game was designed from Capcom in the year of 1993, released from the Super Famicom system because Capcom was decided to make a new Sega for Mega Man, utilizing a similar plot but with a cyberpunk new genre, and the character originally was to be the hero was Zero, but Capcom from USA opposed to this decision because Zero looked like a Japanese samurai, doesn't look like the original Rockman from the NES systems and the Famicom system. So Zero for the moment was replaced by X. At the beginning, the game will start with a little innocent plot talking about the new generation of robots who can think and make their own decisions and have free will. But however, Dr. Light decided to study more X, but unfortunately his life won't let him do that, and seal him in his capsule for 30 years to test his internal systems. In the Japanese version, Dr. Light is called Dr. Thomas Wright, and Dr. Wiley is called Dr. Wally. So there are some cultural changes in the names of the characters. This game, unlike the original Rockman series, does start innocent, but it will have a more dark and deeply story. It can be called, as I mentioned before, the cyberpunk element. Now let's start. This was a very cool game, and at the beginning it looks like any other Rockman game. At the first, you can dash or slide, you can only charge your buster, and the jumps are too limited. But as long as we advance through the game, we will see some very cool features. The rapid fire was enhanced. The charge levels have a different type of damage only in this game, because in the other Rockman X games from the Super Famicom, the charged shot only downs 2 levels of energy from the enemy. But in this, the simple buster lowers down bar. The double charge slow 2 or 3. But the charge buster, it may vary from 3 bars to 4. The bladers were cool detail in this stage. I really love this game. I really love it. I need to say that usually the Japanese versions are more difficult than the American version, so I don't like the US versions because of it. And the dialogues sometimes are badly traduced and doesn't have anything to do with the original plot. This was an awesome game. A cool stuff of enemies, textures, exploding the 16-bit capacity of the Super Nintendo, the Super FAMICOM system. This is really cool. Now, we have a legendary adversary known as Baba in the Japanese version, but in America they call it Bile. This guy is tough. But where is the energy bomb? This is new for that age. In any previous Mega Man games, there was no enemy unbeatable, but this guy breaks the rule. Defeated. The plot is really changed to American versions. In the American version, Baba sounds like a mindless robot. You worthless piece of scrap metal, did you think you could defeat me? But no, in the Japanese version, he really sounds evil, and he even laughs about the ex-suffer. Look what we have here. At my viewpoint, the greatest character of all of the Mega Man sagas, Zero, the powerful cyber samurai, and the mentor of X. He really is a character, very interesting, so he is designed after a samurai from the 15th or 17th centuries. And he makes the Lord of the Bushido to be accomplished. Destroy the enemy at all costs, serve the innocent, be loyal to his own principles and laws, protect his partners, and even fulfill his mission at all costs. Certainly a very respectable and honorable warrior. I really admire Zero. He always was my favorite character in all the Rockman sagas, in all the Rockmans. Now we have the password issue in some Super Nintendo games and the NES games, because the battery to save and the RAM memory chip was a little expensive. They used the password features to continue in other time and starting the point that we were the last time. Now we have here the stage select. A traditional fact in the Rockman saga to select the enemy that we are going to fight, and it still maintains the feature that some bosses are weak to the other bosses' power, making the Pepper, Stone and Six-Cell game. Now let's start. We're going to the famous mode, or in Japan known as Burning Omendo stage. This looks nice. Many people like to enter to the Icy Penguin or Chill Penguin the stage because they got the light armor boot to enhance the dash function. But if we do that, Flame Mammoth stage will be easier because the magma and other obstacles are frozen, so you don't exploit the real fun of this stage. So I like to go in first. I like to go in first. Magma Tower. Oh shit. Stupid Ugriva. The classic mythos. Certainly some very old enemies. The stage is even more harder than if we go inside with the dash function. The acid drops from Mega Man 2. This gets better. The acid drops. At the beginning, the game looks like a combo from Rockman 1, Rockman 4, and Rockman 6. But after, the games look so different. Now let's deal with the big fat dude. The big fat.
X, the people say that you are the future of the red lights. That you are the...
Drop in the hell, you idiot! Drop in the hell! Now, where shall we go? well, this was the first part. I hope you enjoyed. Now, thinking better, we can go to another stage. Now let's go to Armored Armadillo. Armored Armadillo. Armored Match in the Japanese version. This was one of the coolest stages in this one.
Let's go to the maidens. Let's go to the maidens.
The Batonton, the only Batonton that is seen in the game. Let's look at it. Here we have the sub-tanks. In the previous Walkman games, the energy tanks were the same as the sub-tanks, but the sub-tanks have a special feature. You can refill them with the energy pellets that you have when you full energy charge it. And the energy tank, it can be only used once. You see? There is a little charge in the sub-tank. Usually in the first Walkman X games, Walkman X1, 2 or 3, you can only have 4 sub-tanks, but in Walkman X4 and 5 and 6 you can have 2 sub-tanks only, and you can refill them with if you have or not the energy bar complete. That's make a little bit easier, but it doesn't mean that you have the game beat. These pesky backbones. This is fun. Well, let's lost the flame banner. You can do it with the normal booster to beat this guy, but you will look like a Fapel kid to be robbing itself. To be robbing it. So, if you don't want to break your controller, it's preferable to use Storm Tornado or Fire Wave. Let's kill the Armadillo. Let's kill the Armadillo. You can kill him using electric spark from Pac-Man though, but I don't like to use the weaknesses. I don't like. The battle doesn't get fun. Get away! Now we got the rolling shield. Certainly PC weapon, but significant in the game for the beginner users. Now, let's continue in the second part. This time, the first part is finished. So, well, check the second part. Check the second.